republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Pastor, you're welcome to stay.
I just got off of work and I'm
Oh, okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, the roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Commissioner Edmonds? Commissioner Gardner?
Here.
Vice Mayor Heislow?
Here.
Mayor Pittman?
Here.
City Manager Williams?
Here.
City Attorney Tuck?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, no changes necessarily, but we will need a motion and a second and approval for Commissioner Gardner to appear virtually.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, you're
Thank
legal
you.
now, Molly.
Thank you.
Okay, any comments from the public tonight on any non-agenda item? You're welcome to come to the microphone now. Please state your
I
name
thank you.
and your address.
We have Ms. Rocio.
Speak very good English, but okay. I am Rocio Salama, the owner of the Quick Stop next to La Michoacana Ice Cream, 1020 WC Owens. I have been here for the past 4 months in the store. I manage the store by myself because we're trying to sell the store, like everybody know, the business. I have a hard time trying. I don't receive like a good help from the people around me. I want to sell the store, but I am here to ask you guys, the community in general, how with the hard situation that we have been past the last few months, is the city are going to support us like small businesses people, like what is going to be the help from you guys, like with my respect, how we are going to management this hard situation that is very, very hard. I never see Clewiston in this point, like in 25 years. Then I am asking about this answer. I don't know if you are really going to try to help the community. And again, I am trying to sell the business. If somebody is interested, try to help me, because I live in Pembroke Pines. I come every day with my 2 daughters, and I need now, after 25 years, that's it. The community love this store, but it's time to sell. Then if you can give me a help, I appreciate it.
Going forward.
Yeah.
What are they doing going forward?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
she means, what are you guys gonna be, she mentioned to me outside, what is the city gonna be doing for small business going forward? I know you guys have been doing a great job, but as we're moving along into the future, do you have any perspectives? What are we gonna be moving forward? How are we gonna move the economy in the city? As a matter of fact, like, for example, I wanna go eat now, and there's only, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's only one place open, which is Before Brady's. I'm sorry, Randy, I point to you because it's been forever, and I love it. Before Brady's is open, and for you to sit down with your family and have a meal. We have other restaurants that are closed on Mondays. But what are we gonna, that's what she wants to do. She wants to know, in the future, what's your mind, what your progress, what are you thinking about what's moving Clewiston forward? That's her concern.
But not too much the future. Like me coming from Pembroke Pines to eat is nothing to eat. We try to, this is my second time again to tell to you guys that we need food trucks, we need something for the community. I think that La Michoacana ice cream is doing very good. All of the community love something, have kids, you finish after the work, you don't have nothing to do after 8 or 9. They have the power to do something after that. Like, in 4 months, I don't see like something that really motivate the people. It's time to motivate them, food trucks, activity, like, because it's a good community. I need really help, economic, and for the kids and the adults people.
May I?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You did a really good job. You brought me up here to
I
translate, and
hope.
you did a really good job.
I hope not,
Okay.
this
Really good
not
job.
like the second, my second time. I hope I can see results and help from the community and from you guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I would like to comment on this, if you don't mind. Miss Rocio, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I have it right. So my name's Hillary. It's nice to meet you. I don't think I've ever met you. So thanks for coming out tonight. I know that in regard to food trucks and, after hours type events, I know that Jeannie with Parks and Rec has worked really hard to bring several of those. We as a commission have passed new ordinances to have a lot more leeway with food trucks. Randy can correct me if I'm wrong. As a former restaurant owner, sometimes I think that has an adverse effect on our brick and mortar restaurants, or at least that's the perceived notion anyway. But I digress. We went forward with it because there was an outcry from the public to have things like that where people could get out and about and do things with their families. Where I think that there might be a disconnect from my point of view anyway is that this is a private business sector matter and we are a public entity. So I don't think that we can sit here and say, oh, sure, we'll stand up a standing rink or a skating rink rather, or a new sit-down restaurant for you and your family, to go eat at and things like that. I think there are a lot of really good restaurants, here in town. You have Main Street Subs, you have Beef O'Brady's, you have Next Corner. Are some of them closed on Mondays? Yeah, because they're open oftentimes on Saturdays and Sundays, so everybody needs a weekend. But I do think there's a little bit of a disconnect in what you can expect from a governmental agency when it comes to investment in the private sector. That makes it a little bit muddy, in my opinion.
We do thank you for your concern, and we have projects on the books with large landowners, and housing projects are on the way. Unfortunately, it takes more people to bring more commerce and more restaurants and things like that. And Clewiston has always been very small, but we appreciate your business and what you do, and we will be hoping that you sell it very quickly if that's your desire. But thank you for coming tonight. And if I would say also get with the Chamber of Commerce and talk to Brenda over there, and she can probably enlighten you on some other things that are happening.
And don't forget, we got Culver's, about 4 weeks.
Anyone else?
Okay, yes. We have a second one, Mr. Sean Thompson.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sean Thompson. I'm not the orator in the family, so just bear with me as I do this. I want to comment on something I heard from a neighbor. Told me that there is a project to put a curb down Main Street with a roundabout. And I have fundamental concerns about that because it essentially would stop traffic from crossing the street anywhere on Main Street. And Main Street does get backed up during the day, especially in the late afternoon and early mornings. I believe making a curb would make that worse, especially if you add in a roundabout. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to New England, but I went to school up there. They have roundabouts everywhere, and they drive like nut jobs, and there's always an accident in a roundabout, always. So if we put a curb down Main Street, it would stop trucks from being able to turn. It would impede on businesses because if you're on the right side of the road, you got to go the whole way down Main Street to turn around and go back. I think it would probably push traffic into the residential areas on both sides of the street. If the concern of the state is, I realize this is not a city planned project. I was told it's a state planned project. So if the concern is traffic and speeding through the town, why don't we tell them to stop from building a curb, tell them no, and have a highway routed around Clewiston for the truck traffic? I mean, that would relieve congestion. It would stop unnecessary traffic through our community, and we wouldn't have a curb in the middle of the road that would impede on the way we do things. So I don't know if anyone else has talked to the commissioners about this, but I would really like to hear your opinion and hopefully a commitment to try to stop the state from doing this. So yeah, it's everything I have to share.
Well, we're going to have a meeting with them again at the end of January.
Okay.
I'm meeting with them tomorrow with the commissioner. We're going to meet one-on-one They've already changed the plans, so we're going to see what those are tomorrow. But I'd recommend that you come to our meeting and voice your opinion. Everybody sitting here needs to come and voice their opinion, because we definitely do not agree with what their plans are. So I'll get you the date.
excellent.
We'll
Thank
have
you.
it posted, but it's going to be at the end of January.
Excellent. Thank you.
But I am meeting with them probably about 3 times this week and discuss the plans.
I might not be here at the end of
No,
January.
I'm meeting with these guys one-on-one.
I'll keep
okay.
Lena posted.
All right, yeah. She can come. She's better at this stuff than me. She's a lot better.
You did great.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Sean.
Thank you.
You asked the commission what we thought, and we're probably going to talk about this a little later in the meeting, but I think, I can't speak for everyone, but I know that most of us are opposed to the plan that we saw for the first time also at the last meeting at John Boy Auditorium. So we are actively pursuing ways to remove some, at least, I would say most of the curbs. Well, some of them might remain, but I've heard your concerns from many business owners along 27. Same concern, so we have to come out in force, because FDOT, they can override us very easily. But I believe they'll listen to us if we come out in force and really show them the difficulties that that's going to bring to our community. Okay, is that it for public comment? Anyone else? Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on. We have a presentation tonight for our retiring Fire Chief, Travis Reese. So I'm going to ask him to come up. And we have a proclamation here that I want to read, Travis, and then if anybody would like to make any comments, you're more than welcome. This is a proclamation for retired Fire Chief Travis Reese, who has honorably served the city of Clewiston for more than 35 years, demonstrating outstanding leadership, professionalism, and dedication to public safety. And whereas as the Fire Chief, he oversaw the protection of life and property within the Clewiston Fire District, serving the city in unincorporated East Hendry County across 305 square miles and more than 15,000 residents. And whereas Chief Reese holds numerous state and FEMA certifications, including, I hope we got them all in here, because you wore many hats. Certified floodplain manager, the certified building code administrator, a certified fire inspector, reflecting his commitment to professionalism, excellence. Whereas beginning of his city service was in 1988, he advanced through multiple key roles, including Assistant Director of Public Works, Building Official, Director of Community Development, Fire Marshal, and ultimately Fire Chief in October of 2018. And whereas throughout his distinguished career, Chief Reese was upheld the mission of community safety through education, preparedness, quality service, and a culture of safety. Now, therefore, the city of Clewiston proudly honors and commends retired Fire Chief Travis Reese for his exceptional service and lasting contributions to the residents of the city of Clewiston.
Thank you.
Can I go take a picture?
Yeah, let's go.
You gonna take the picture, Travis?
Oh, I can't take the picture. Yeah, let's go around.
We're gonna go
Got a
around.
big phone. Where's, me? Yeah, I can do it. One day we'll get a new table. Okay. That's fine. Everybody.
About 5, there should be a good one.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. If you want to say a few words, you're more than welcome.
Well, you know me, I might go too long there.
It's your last chance, so.
No, in all seriousness,
Mayor, Commissioners, Manager Williams, staff, thank you. It has really been an honor to serve the city. I've been in the seats listening to folks say, you know, it feels more like a family than a job. That's truly so. When those folks say that, as I move on, I realize that the relationships I've built serving this city, you move on. It's bittersweet, but you just change roles. You know, I'm Citizen Reese now. I'm proud to be. I'll still be here with you guys. I mean, I'm probably just be more complaining than helping anymore. But it's seriously, the folks that serve this city, I mean, I couldn't be more proud of this city and the staff that serves it. And I'll always be there to support you, commissioners too. I mean, it takes a lot. People don't appreciate what it takes to sit there and listen, as you heard tonight. I mean, there's just, everyone needs something and they need help. If you do your career and just go forward helping people, I think the citizens will appreciate that, and you'll do your best. So keep God in mind and keep moving forward. And good luck to you guys. And I know I'll enjoy what time I have to sit back and watch you guys work. So thank you.
Pay your light bill, Travis.
Thank you for your service. It's very rare that someone makes that many years, especially with the municipality. And I hope your endeavors will be very satisfactory to you, and I know they will because of the person and the man that you are. I've got to know you over the past many years, and started maybe in Public Works, and then where you ended up. A lot of people don't know, but there's probably only a handful of people in the state of Florida that have the certifications that Travis has. And you're very valuable to the city, and we thank you for your service here. So I appreciate you very much. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Travis, it's only been a few years that me and you have actually been speaking to one another, and that fire department over there is what it is right now because of the work you've put in the last 10 to 15 years over there in that department, man. And the amount of volunteers that you have it's impressive. And those guys are there because you were the chief. You know, there's a lot of guys that wouldn't have stayed if you weren't in that building. So I appreciate what you did over there, man. Thank you.
All right. We will move on then to the consent agenda. You guys are more than welcome to stay. I'm saying it's going to be but if you want to leave, you're obviously, you know you can. Has everyone had a chance to look over the consent agenda?
Yes, sir.
If anyone wants to pull any items, now's the time.
I have none.
I have none. I make a motion to approve it.
Motion
Second.
to approve, second by Hoslope. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we have a couple of resolutions. This is resolution number 2025-84. I'll read it by title. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, approving the amendment number 1 to agreement number LPA 0266 between Florida Department of Environmental Protection. That's not the right one. Never mind, scratch that.
I was trying to find it.
I was looking there, I'm like, yeah, I don't see that on here.
No, wait a minute, that is the right one. 84. Was I reading the right one?
Well, that's why I don't see it.
I have cheat notes, but evidently they weren't very good. Not because, yeah, that is 84.
Yeah, this one.
Okay, I'll pick up reading where I left off. From the Department of Environmental Protection and the City of Clewiston, providing for severability, conflict, and an effective date. Manager, you want to fill us in on Resolution 24?
You may-
It's the change orders for the water line, but go ahead.
Yeah, you may remember from last month, we have 2 grant agreements and we combined them. We did a change order with Johnson Engineering changing the scope of the project a little bit. I can go back in detail, but it's just to run a 16-inch line along Tobias up Lewis Boulevard to Highway 27 and adjust the project cost. So what we have before y'all tonight is to put that in writing in our grant agreement so that we can get reimbursed for the work when we go forward with the construction. So it's the work plan and the budget that's being amended.
Doesn't include any of the distance going out to Everglades.
Correct.
Just to the highway at Lewis Boulevard.
Correct. Bigger pipe, more capacity to serve the west side of town, but yeah, it ends at Lewis Boulevard. At Highway 27. And Dave's here if y'all have any questions for the engineer, but.
Lynn, I have a quick question on this. I know that looks like the contract allows us to go to 2027, but what's, the anticipated timeline on this project?
Molly, Dave's coming up to the microphone.
Dave Trudeau with Johnson Engineering. So the general timeline, and I mentioned this last meeting, our design should be complete by the end of December. We need to go through permitting, which is going to take 2 to 3 months. We'll put it out to bid probably in the first quarter of 26. Be 12 to 15 month project. So second quarter of 27 would be completion estimate.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Okay, any further questions, discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Hoslow, second by Williams. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 13 is resolution number 2025-85, which is the Sugarland Park Reservation application. I'll read it by title. A resolution of the City of Clewiston, City of Clewiston of the Clewiston, Florida, approving the Sugarland Park Reservation application. Park fees for field use.
Have they always charged?
Yeah, Jeannie, if you want to come up. I think what happened, they charged from like 2007 to 2020, and then they stopped. I'm not sure why. And then I think they started back in 23, correct, Jeannie?
24?
24?
Whenever Tim and Ashley both started, which I think was
You might
24.
want to
2024.
why you explain you raised your rates and stuff. And
Yeah, so a lot of it is what we were charging, and I say we with my leaders before me, is we're charging for a new machine. I don't know if you guys knew was purchased or not. The turf tank machine, it was purchased at $11,000. It's a yearly subscription, so that subscription's paid through the city. I found out we do have a sponsorship with Wedgeworth where they paid the first year $3,000, second year they'll do $2,000, and the third year $1,000. But essentially, that machine is being paid by everything else, the paint that comes with it. It's like $2,500 each time we have to order paint for that machine. So the only thing that was being charged as of 2024, when my previous leaders were here, was the charge of the paint. So we weren't charging, they have not been charging field use, anything else that was supposed to be. I did find in some records that we have there in the recreation office, a field use fee. That is what you have also there. That was just, I restructured it, but that one was built in between 2007 and 2019. That one was used. In 2024, as some travel teams or softball teams were wanting to use the fields, they were charging them based off of that fee structure. So that's how that came about. As far as what I've been doing ever since I've been in this position is doing the same thing since before me, is just charging the paint for the fields. But since we do have to talk about the liability, the vandalism that's been happening in these quads, we've been leaving the quads open for use from AYSO soccer right now that's out there. And if you can pass that along. These are just a few pictures that we got in the last month and this month of, that's the big quad. So they've been in there kicking down doors. We've been having to repair them. The one picture was just from over this past weekend where my guys say it had to be between Thursday and Friday, where people were in and just filling up toilets, and then plugging them all the way down. So our guys are out there working countless hours trying to get that fixed. The fields are getting really, really beat up as they do every soccer season. Right now, soccer is the only one that uses that field for practice and game days. Everybody else uses other fields around the city. So right now, that field is getting a lot of use. So we need to be able to do something to do, make sure we're having the costs kind of equal out. So me and Danny are talking about if we're going to return that turf tank machine after the subscription this year, because is it really worth having it? And the cost of that on top of the paint, and the city's taking all that, we're not getting any help from the leagues that are here. The only league that is helped is if Field 3 and 4 on our Little League field. Those fields just got redone, and Little League is giving us a check for $4,500 for some of those fees. So they just said, hey, this is what we have. We're going to give you guys because we know the city is doing this. So they're pretty much the only ones. But anybody else that's used it, from what I know, only thing we're charging them is just the field, like the painting of the field. So.
So just a couple of questions. Did I hear you say that are we going to get rid of the paint machine?
I mean, that'd be a suggestion, because that's just a lot of money. If we don't have these fee structure in place to help us with some of the costs, like maintenance of it, from what I know, there is one invoice that was billed to like Central County whenever they wanted their soccer field painted. So that one did have the cost of the labor and the paint. But other than that, we have 50 gallons of paint out there for a machine that I am having one of my public works guys look into getting it going again, because if we have all that paint there for that machine, we should have used that before even buying it. I know it takes longer time, but at what cost do you want it? It's the city, it's what we're facing right now. What do we want to keep doing? Are we going to keep spending more money on things that we're not getting anything back from?
Yeah, but I thought we got the machine because it saved on so much labor.
No. So to paint the field, I'll give you an example. So for the high school field, it takes them about 4 or 5 hours to do. So all these AYSO soccer fields, it takes my guy with the paint, they have quite a few out there. So he kind of breaks it up, because if not, it's a whole day project. So, and they have to do it early in the morning because, of course, games are in the afternoon. So they have to do it first thing, but they have to wait for the fields to be dry. But it's taking, actually, he just told me on this last week, he kind of sped up the machine, because you can make it go slower to do it where it's really lining it perfectly. And I guess more paint, because Jeannie, I sped it up because it's just taking too long, and he got the same result. But 4 or 5 hours for one guy to be out there holding that iPad to make sure it's painted how it should be.
How would you paint the field if you didn't have the machine?
They have like a walking machine out there, which we have like 50 jugs of, and we have about 50 jugs of paint for that still out there.
What we're planning doing is we're moving the lights from the tennis courts, and we're getting new lights there. So we're going to take those lights and put them at the 10-acre field, because we got to get these soccer players off those fields. That's some of the problem. They're practicing and playing, and it's every day. So, if we were to line the field and then you just play on it, and you don't have to line it as much. But right now, they're killing it. So we're in the process of moving those lights, and we just got the new ones in, so we're changing those out. And once we do, we kind of talked it out. We'll probably line one side, and then they can practice on a 10-acre field, because we're maintaining the 10-acre field now. So that's our goal. I think it'll happen. Well, I know it's going to happen because we got the lights. And plus it's to help pickleball. Hopefully get some better lighting and start holding some tournaments.
Do we need to reach out to the people in that neighborhood to make sure that?
We will.
Okay.
Yeah.
That they're okay
Absolutely.
with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd like to see, the recreation board give us some recommendations on all of this. I'm sure that they probably will be meeting coming up in January, but, they're attuned to what's going on in all the parks and all the, all the activities. So thank you.
Yes, we do have a meeting scheduled for this Thursday. As of right now, I have 2 people that have confirmed their attendance. So, of course, we need to have 3 or more. So I'm pretty confident it will happen, though.
And I'd like to see what that machine, I just know the pain it is to line a field manually. And when we bought that machine, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Got that right.
And now, if it's broken, let's see if we can repair it. I'd like the board to look at that maybe Thursday when y'all meet.
Is it
And
broken?
I agree. If it's cheaper to do it with manual labor, then that's fine too, because we have the men, I think, out there to do it. But I'd like to look at that because it was.
Hey, man, that man's in here and over there. That was paint on that on the cane field, David Atkinson and Joe Hernandez and myself did that for months manually. It was time consuming. And that machine, the sprayer tip gets clogged and you're stopping and you're unclogging that. When we first got the robot, I agree. It was the best thing since sliced bread to stand there and just watch that thing go. Now, I didn't watch it paint the whole field, so I don't know the timeline on that. But, man, I was happy that we weren't out there chalk lining the field and then pushing that machine. So that machine was great.
So, Jeannie, what exactly is the problem then? If the machine works, the problem is that we don't have the money to keep it running?
Well, and I think the problem is so much, as like I said, that's where the fees are coming in. Because when we're doing fees, something that was brought up at our last board meeting is that we shouldn't be charging anybody anything. And that's where my thing is I want to be sure that, and it is on record, I haven't just done it out of thin air, right? I've been charging based on what people before me have been doing. So, and again, having it a structure how we have, that you have there, that was already in place. So we really need to have that, because right now people will call and want to have the lights on for a field, and then they want to have it on longer, or AYSO these past probably 5 times that they had the light tower out there, they've left it on overnight. So that's running gas that they're not paying for. They're wanting all the lights lit up out there for all the fields because it's hard to see. So again, that's running lights. The bill for October to November was over like $3,000 in the light bill for out there. So I mean, it's just things that I think we need to look into doing a fee structure, so it's not somebody saying, Jeannie's being a bully, she's this director, now she wants to charge me this much money, but it's been the same. We're charging everybody the same thing. But I think if we have something in writing, and as you're coming to me as a league and I'm giving you, this is our fee structure, it's the same for everybody, it's a more understanding, right? And it's not she's doing it to this person, but not to that person. It's something that's happening with everybody in the city. Yeah.
Right, I agree, because I've been the culprit of calling you a few times and be like, hey, we need the lights on a little bit longer. We're still out here. High school games are going on. The middle school games going on. And AYSO does get backed up. There's a lot of teams, so I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and we do the schedule and we have it, but like you say, I'm expecting a phone call here in a few minutes that's going to get darker, but I'm going to go out there now because, again, after we leave here, because we did just do, and to remove that light tower to have a more lighter and brighter thing out there. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we have that extra pole out there for AYSO, but again, that's a flip of a switch. So now they got to remember to turn the switch off, right? Because if not, now we're leaving it on all night long, and here is more power being ran. But again, I think things like that, and you having a fee structure and people knowing, like that structure says, it's the coach's responsibility to make sure those fields are clean. When I went out there last week to go and see the lights that were there, to show them how to use the flip and where it was at and everything, somebody just drove right by and was throwing trash out the window. Like the parent was driving and this kid was throwing trash out the window, and I had to stop and pick it up. And I'm like, we're not keeping it clean. But again, if we hold these leagues and everybody to that agreement, they have to be able to work together, right? So somebody there to make sure the trash is picked up. Is this being done? The bathrooms, maybe give them a key so that way the bathrooms, they can lock them when they leave, so this kind of vandalism doesn't happen, because it's happening about every weekend now.
So looking at this fee structure, it looks like it would be pretty expensive to play a game. The rental per day, the light fee for the first hour, and then after. I mean, I like the board to look at this and see what, if I wanted to go out and take my team and play another team, one game, say that lasts 3 hours, how much would that cost? Total it up, because we start charging Little League per day.
Per field.
They're going to say, do it yourself, city, and we will, because we've done it ourselves before, and now we're going to get no fee from anyone.
Right.
So we've been down this road before years ago, so this isn't the first time. So maybe we could go back and kind of look at that.
And again, I think it's everybody working together as a city, right? Because I have had like the Christian school, New Harvest, come to me and want to borrow fields or use fields, right? And they're like, hey, we'll pay for this. Let us know what it costs. It's not the point of them not being able to. I think it's just the comfortability people have to say, I never had to pay, so don't charge me. But it has happened. Again, I've seen where even the light, if we have softball, the adult softball, they'll call and say, hey, I need the lights on for this much. They were charging. Like I said, I haven't charged anything besides the paint since I've been in this position. But I have seen last year this fee structure was used for a team. Like you said, somebody wanted to have, and it was like a work event. So it wasn't just one field. It was like 2 or 3 fields. But they filled this form out and gave it to that person for them to pay before they could use the field. Because you got to have some kind of liability coverage, all that kind of stuff. And this covers all that.
No, I agree. There should be something.
And again, I didn't restructure any of the costs. These costs are the costs from 2007 to 2019. So even like the supervisory fee alone, like right now, if we have supervisory fee for John Boy or Youth Center, it's at $25 an hour. So these prices are from that long ago. So 6 years, at least 6 years ago.
Well, and you're also going to get the pushback. I live in the city limits and I pay taxes to the Recreation Department. So be ready for that. So if it's all right with the board, I'd like to table this to next month and let the Recreation Board look at it and come up. I'm not against a fee structure, but I just want us to make sure, because if we end up taking over Little League and then the older kid league, I mean, we're going to do it because we're going to provide baseball and soccer for our town. So I don't want us to get stuck doing it anyway and not getting any fees. So if that's all right with the commission.
And I have been working, just so you know, with all of the sports and all of the leagues, and they haven't had any issue at all with paying what they've been paying, which is just for the paint. But again, this is just to protect us all, to know that that amount is there. So right now, people are being charged just the paint, so you know. But I haven't had any kickback from that at all. So they've all been okay with it, and they've all been paying that. But just so you guys are aware.
That's fine. You can continue with what you were doing.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, y'all meet Thursday, so.
Yes.
What time is that meeting?
At 4 o'clock.
Any other questions? We'll need a motion if we are going to table it, or a motion
make a
for
motion.
something else.
Table it.
Second.
Okay, motion by Edmonds, second by Gardner. Any more
Excuse me, Mayor?
discussion?
There is a comment regarding the park fees. We have a
You have
public
a comment card?
Mhm.
Okay, who?
And it's Mr. McCarthy.
I'm very glad that y'all are going to postpone this. Some clarification points on those fees. Those fees have never been charged since I've been 25 years involved with AYSO. My son was involved with AYSO. Those fees have never been charged to AYSO. Dixie League maybe recently. The fees that were set in were for tournaments that came into town, so I'd encourage the board to come back, the rec board to come back with recommendations and look at Belglade, Okeechobee, LaBelle, find out what they charge so that we're not doing something that's completely out of realm for these other leagues. Reasonable charges are okay. I was at a tournament this weekend down in Broward. It's $180 an hour to use their soccer field. Their concession stand is run. Their soccer fields are there to play, but that's Broward County. That's not Clewiston. So I think you will price the majority of our kids out of a league. So if you charge those kind of rates. So I would thank you for tabling it, and I hope the rec board comes back and you leave them plenty of time to come back with the recommendations. The other one I would say is the painting fees were implemented to AYSO this season once the season started. So it has put a burden on AYSO to try and come up with that money when you're paying for fields after you already started your season. So I would encourage you to stage this so that well before Dixie League does their sign-ups, they know what the fees are going to be so they can build those into the rates. Same thing with AYSO or anybody else that's going to use your fields. So, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, we have a motion by Highslope, right?
No.
Who made, Edmonds, second by Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I got to get back to the. Computers are supposed to be faster, I know that. Okay, item number 14 is the consideration of ordinance 2025-09. This is the first reading, and this ordinance is to amend the purchasing procedures within the city's code to specifically and explicitly allow the city to participate in FMPA's joint purchasing projects. So this is just for FMPA. It's not for the entire purchasing of any other thing for the city. I'll read this by title, and then we'll declare the public hearing open. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, amending the Clewiston Code of Ordinance, Chapter 2, Administration, amending Article 3, Purchasing Procedures, and providing for codification providing for severability and an effective date. If anyone from the audience would like to speak, please come to the microphone and state your name and address. Seeing no movement, any questions by the commission? Lynn, do you want to say anything? Yeah. Just a brief something.
I like, this is one of the biggest advantages, among the advantages of being an FMPA, is this joint purchasing project that they do. They use the expertise of their engineers. They put together bid packages and go out to bid, and the members get to the benefit of the competitive bidding. And for a city the size of Clewiston, we have the same contractors come here that Ocala or anywhere else in the state. We have that leverage because we're with FMPA. But they've expanded the project recently, and they've gone into engineering services, and that's more in the nature of professional services. And one of the things that I'd reached out to them for was a Leidos contract to do an engineering system study that we had talked about during the budgeting process, to go out and do some modeling. And when I went to put that on the agenda, Kaylee had some questions about our existing ordinance and some prohibitions against piggybacking on CCNA contracts. So that's why we're here today, to kind of specifically call that out in the ordinance and authorize these FMPA contracts.
And Mr. Mayor, just to provide some additional context, it's not that we can't cooperatively purchase these services. It's just that our ordinance in particular, 2-79, has a specific prohibition against piggybacking CCNA contracts, which is squarely within what FMPA does and squarely within what the membership that Clewiston has in FMPA is for. So that's what we'd be looking for, is to change those. And if this were to pass on first reading, the motion should also include the public hearing as well, so say a public hearing date.
Okay, anyone else? Declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion.
I will, let me get to where I'm supposed to be. Motion that we pass ordinance number 2025-09
A second.
to include the setting of a public hearing date.
Second that.
By Highslope, second by Williams. Public hearing date, do we need to do that before we vote?
I would do it before you vote, and I believe in the consent agenda, we approved the 2026 meeting schedule, so you can just do it for the January meeting.
We can just do it at the regular meeting?
Mhm.
Okay, so back to your motion.
Yeah, I'll amend it to include that the public hearing will be held in the commission's regular January meeting, 2026.
Agree with that?
And I now second that motion.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Staff comments, city manager?
Yeah, Mayor, I think in today's world, we've been discussing with staff, I think what we're going to start doing is closing the back door and have people enter to the front door. And of course, we've asked for some extra protection. So with your approval, that's what we'd like to do, to keep the back door closed. Everyone comes through the front. Yep.
Yeah, we haven't had any threats or anything, have we?
No, but the way things are today, it wouldn't hurt to start, just be sure and be safe.
I don't disagree.
I don't think it's going to help or hurt either way, but if that's what staff makes them feel more comfortable, I'm all for that. Is that a consensus with everyone?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yes.
As long as it's
I'm good with it. Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Dan?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, city attorney?
Nothing substantive, but I will be out for the next couple of meetings, so Derek will be filling in, just as a heads up for that.
Williams?
Yes. Don't quit calling me about Highway 27 median project, all right? Chill out, everybody, all right? We're going to have another public meeting. If you want any information, go talk to Jimmy Carlson at Jimmy Tire. He'll tell you everything that you need to know. That is it.
Jason, there's a chance for you to meet this week. I sent you an email. They're meeting one-on-one, so Tuesday, Wednesday,
You tell me
Thursday.
when, and I'll be here.
All right, I'll set it up and I'll let you know.
Yep.
They have changed the plans, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, that was my main. Don't worry, guys. They're
I think it's one way through and that's it.
That's it. And it's a bypass. It's a one-way bypass.
All right, Commissioner Edmonds.
I don't think I'm allowed to say anything, but there was a vote on the Saginaw issue with the shed replacing some dog pens. And I thought maybe we could rehear that, but I don't think I'm allowed to do that. I think it has to be somebody that's already voted.
That is correct, Barbara, and thank you for that, because I did get that email in here, and that is definitely something that we need to do. We need to entertain a motion to, I need to get in here and read that, how that went by title, just to be sure.
Well, while you're looking that up, the owner also contacted me and requested a full commission vote. When we voted on it last month, there was only 4 commissioners here, and it went 2-2, so if it's ever a tie, it fails. So I did discuss it with the attorney and some of the staff, and the attorney suggested motion is made to, what wording did you
Reconsider.
use?
To reconsider.
Yeah, to reconsider the variance.
But that motion has to be made by the prevailing side.
Correct. Be you, Mr.
Has
Williams.
anything,
That's correct.
Or
has
me.
anything in regards to this variance request changed? Does the homeowner now suddenly meet the 6 legal requirements?
I don't believe anything in the application has changed. Chris can correct me if I'm wrong.
So then I'm sitting here, Commissioner Gardner's on the phone. Either of us could make this motion theoretically, but I would be making it not in good faith in reading into the record that this homeowner meets all 6 of these requirements. And I'm not willing to do that because I believe that it's skirting the law.
I'll do it. And
You can't.
You can do it.
I'm reading here, and it says yes, because we're within the 30-day appeal period, and the board has an option to reconsider the application. The motion will need to be made by a member of the prevailing side of the original vote, and a
Which-
public hearing will need to be set for a later date.
The prevailing vote were the
Really
nays.
means the voters that
Dang,
voted
Jason
no.
should have done better. Thanks, Kaylee. Man, I was excited about that.
That's the short answer, Commissioner Williams. Got to
Yeah, I
read a little bit further
appreciate
down.
I got all happy this afternoon. I was like, all right, good for that.
All right, so Commissioner Gardner, you'll be the only other one.
No, I'm going to follow the legal advice. It doesn't meet the requirements of our variances, and I am not going to approve something that goes against our ordinances.
Okay. Anything else, Barbara? from
Then
your
can we
comment?
look at the ordinance again?
I would love to
Well,
look at the ordinance.
actually-
Look at the ordinance.
We were
and-
supposed to fast
and
track
what-
that. We said we were going to fast
That was
track.
that was the direction from the last meeting.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, I know you all got a 21-page memo from me over the weekend, and I apologize for the robustness of it. 7 pages of it is regarding the process for reconsideration and then the difference between a variance and a special exception. But part 3 of that memo, the very last page, is some suggestions on how you can change either the setback ordinance or the variance process. And then I also included sample ordinances from several different jurisdictions that have different things, such as an administrative variance, a specific setback variance provision, and things of that nature for you all to look over and consider.
I appreciated how thorough this was.
Okay, so Chris, did you get anywhere with it?
For this meeting, no, sir.
I think we need to look up the definition of fast track if we're going to say we're going to fast track something.
So, directly after this last meeting, I had some visitors in my building over there that kind of, shook the whole department up. And
in order to get this done. It takes a couple months to get stuff ready to present to you guys. It's not just sit down and put it on paper and get it to you. For me to do it thoroughly, it's not a 2-day job, it's a 30-day job. And we haven't had 30 days to get this done, not with all the excitement that we just had in my building. So I'm sorry, I will get it to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, and run it by Kaylee, because if you got her
Kaylee,
memo.
Kaylee, I have a question. Yeah. We talked about changing the ordinance, which I think, it needs to be looked at because we were looking at comparables, but you also had something in there about a variance, a different way of approving variances. Can you just kind of go over that?
Yes, ma'am. So there are several jurisdictions that have what's called an administrative variance, and the administrative variance can mean different things, but essentially it's a variance that you don't have to go through the public hearing process for, that you give staff the ability to approve. For example, I believe, I may not have included Lee counties in there, but Lee County has an administrative variance ordinance where if you're requesting 10% or less relief, so for example, if we have a 10% setback, you're requesting 1 foot or less of a variance, then staff can approve it administratively. That's an option to amend the variance ordinance. There's also a couple of different examples. Commissioner Gardner, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
And there are also some other examples in there about a setback-specific variance. So there are multiple options you all have. If you'd like to explore the actual setbacks, so it's 7.5 feet right now. If you want to explore moving it to 5 feet or 3 feet or whatever that may be, I suggest going with Mr. Cooper on kind of what the health, safety, welfare of reducing those setbacks looks like. But if you want to play around with the administrative process, that's an option as well. Or you can do both. So it just depends on what the pleasure of the board is.
Okay.
Well, I had never heard of that, so I don't know how the rest of the commission feels, but, as we look at the ordinance and then making changes, and then also this opportunity to look at an administrative variance process, should we have a workshop before our January 26th meeting?
I agree. If maybe, Chris, you could bring some information to us along with Kaylee's book she sent us on Saturday. Let's have a workshop, and I like the administrative route because that'll also save our citizens $750 from having to do a full-blown variance, unless we decide to charge for that too. But yeah, I'm open for a workshop. You want to just poll everyone, Danny, after the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anything else, Barbara?
I'm good. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Vice Mayor Haslow?
Sure. I would like to just talk briefly about 2025. This is the last time we will meet as a commission in 2025. And I think if you sit back and look at it as a whole, maybe not as of late, but as a whole, I think it's been a great year for the city. I think that the city manager was tasked with some hard tasks this year, some revamping, some changes that might have been difficult for the city to, for us to get to this point. But I think that 2026 has nothing but great things in store for the city of Clewiston. I think that the city manager has done a good job leading us up to this point, and I'm excited to see where we continue to go. So I want to thank you for your dedication and leadership to the city. It hasn't gone unnoticed. I appreciate it, and I know that it hasn't been easy, especially as of late. But Lord willing, we can put some of that behind us soon and move into 2026 with a cleaner slate. So
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
that's it. Merry Christmas.
Okay, yes. Commissioner Gardner?
Yep, just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I am looking forward to 2026. I know that earlier at tonight's meeting, there was comments made about economic activity, and as I think back of many things that have gone really well this year. The Marshall's opening up, our small business community continuing to do well. Hope, my hope, a new hotel being built, a new restaurant coming to town. There's several other small businesses that have made some changes that I think are for the good of the town. And I think that there's going to be a better economic outlook for 2026, and I believe that the city will benefit from that. And so my hope and prayer is that we do grow and prosper, and some of these projects that we've seen over the years come to fruition. And I know that we have some difficult, I shouldn't say difficult, but we have some meetings to fight for the town, especially with the project from the DOT. And I believe that with all of us working on making sure that, it's the best project for the town, because we do have a lot of traffic coming through here. And Danny, I think it was like an average of 38,000 average daily count. So there's a lot of activity that goes up and down the highway, and that, any way that we can garner that for the local community and not make it difficult for them, that's going to be the focus for me for these meetings with DOT. So again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Just one more quick thing. You know how I like to do like my unsung hero, like every now and then I'll shout out Natasha when she's here. But today my unsung hero is going to be Francesca. This wouldn't happen without Francesca. And I just want you to know how much I really, really appreciate all the work that you put into the city.
Thank you.
It certainly doesn't go unnoticed.
Thank you, Francesca.
Yeah, we have an awesome staff. The only thing I want to bring up is, two things. The FDOT situation, I'd like the commission, if you agree, to send a formal letter.
We're working on that, Mayor. But you need to schedule a date too, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, to sit with these. They'll come here, they'll Zoom call, whatever you want to do.
It'll have to be Thursday, but.
Thursday it'll work. They're open. They left it open for us, so.
Okay.
Don't we have a letter in the works?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely want to get that sent from the city commission. Then I hear there may be another citizen petition also, which I highly encourage. And then, of course, everyone to show up at the meeting in January. The other thing was the fire pension board, with Travis retiring, and I'm not sure who else is on the board or who has gotten off the board. Maybe the chief can help me out. But we need to either reappoint, we need to replace that position or positions, because I think according to the state retirement pension rules, you have to have a quorum every time you meet, or you jeopardize potentially losing some funding. So if somebody that knows everybody, I don't know everybody on the board, I can't remember. If you'd like to come up and kind of fill us in, Kevin, on where we're at.
Quickly, it's a 5-member board, 2 members appointed by the commission, 2 members appointed by the fire department, and then a member at large. I do not know the 2. I know Randy Maxon was one of your city appointees. I don't know who the other one was. Randy's resigned off that board, so I believe the 2 city positions are open. Chuck Pelham was the at-large member, and then Mike Irie and myself are the fire department members. So Chuck's had some medical issues. So right now we don't have enough to have a quorum. We're supposed to have quarterly meetings. We don't want to put the state funding in jeopardy for that. So we really need the city to appoint there too, or move Chuck into a city appointee and possibly some other employee. But that's what we're looking for, is for the city to appoint their 2 members to the pension board. And we can find the 5th if you want to move Chuck to it, or you can leave him at large and appoint 2 people. But we need the city to appoint 2 members to the pension board really as soon as possible, because we were supposed to have our December meeting, which we're right now don't have a quorum for. We can push that into end of January and be okay, but I don't want to push it into February. So
why don't we put it on next agenda and elect 2 people out of the city if that's what's missing? It'd be-
Give you time?
It'll be a short time. So if you have,
When
if
do-
you
when
have
do you
a
meet?
person, if
When
you
do-
have a person that you have in mind, like I said, then you could make that motion and appoint it, and then we could have enough to at least have a quorum for this quarter.
Could we do it in our, like as a special meeting when we do our workshop? And that would give you guys more time as opposed to like January 26th, you know?
Like I said, the quarterly meeting should have been held in December. We're going to push it into January, but if you do it on the 26th, that gives us,
Yeah, just a few days.
a few days to have a meeting. So
So if we did it a little earlier, that would be helpful.
that would be helpful. So, yeah.
So what is the, so we're not meeting on January 19th?
I'm gonna,
No, I think
That's
the
MLK
schedule's
Day.
the 26th.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
Have to remind me which one.
MLK Day.
Okay. Then if
As,
you have-
as we, Kevin, as we look at that pension, I mean, it's been a while since we probably have seen minutes, and I don't know when the last minutes were. And just more of a, maybe even, just the latest information that from the pension, the whole process of the pension board and what the statements look like. I think that would be good as we sit down and we look at this and hope we can have a special meeting when we do the workshop. Sometime in maybe before that week of the 19th or before then, so that we can have all that information.
we can do it when we poll you guys for the special meeting. We can put it on that day.
Okay.
You
All
want to
right.
do it on the 12th?
That sounds good.
Available?
I don't know. Probably.
January
Uh,
12th.
I don't have my phone with me. Kevin, what generally qualifies someone to sit on the pension board? Like, what are you looking for? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have to live inside the city limits of Clewiston, obviously.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, if you have somebody that has a financial background,
Okay.
that you're dealing with a large amount of money and investments. Jeff Smith was one of the city employees. I don't know whether he had left and moved, and so
I don't
he's
think
back.
they're here on a regular basis. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just saying, but he was here and then he left. So he was one of the city's appointees. The League of Cities manages the pension, so I'm sure we can get Jeremy. I haven't been on it in a couple of years, so I'm out of the loop. So I'll have to catch back up quickly. Travis was on the pension board for the fire department. Mike Irie took my place when I had to resign, and because it was dual office holding when I became town administrator in Lake Placid. So I'm back on it. We did that election on the fire department last month, so that there wouldn't be any. So we can continue that, but certainly we can get League of Cities to do a presentation to the board to let everybody know and go through that process.
So financial background.
That would be the
Emergency
primary
services
because it's
background.
financial services. It's investing the city's money and the state's money for pension benefit for pension services. So
Okay. Just thinking about different people.
In the past, someone from our finance department, Sherry Howell was on it, Randy was on it,
And put Tim on it.
just because they're going to deal with the money anyway at some point. That's just a suggestion. We can do it on first or second week of January.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Molly.
The 12th works, so that's a Monday. Anytime that week would work as well. But yeah, we could have this discussion at a special meeting, and maybe we can come up with some names and talk to Danny from us appointing. If it's not the finance director, then what are the next steps on that, as well as folks in the community. We certainly all know folks who have financial background that serve the community in other ways that they might consider serving on this board.
Anyway, it'll work. We'll have them.
Also, at some point, I guess our other retirement accounts, they normally give a yearly report. I don't remember what time of the year, if it was towards the end of the year or budget time, but we may want to also take a look at those reports, and they bring in the actuarials and know how much money we've made in those accounts. Been positive for the past several years, so that's been good. There's nothing else. I wish everyone also a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you in January.
Thanks.
Meeting adjourned.